This video is being recorded prior to England's friendly with Germany last Friday night, so it's a little bit tricky to get the tone right. In that case, either hats off to an understrength England team for recording a heroic win over the world champions at Wembley, or, well, what did you expect? With no Kane, no Ali, and no Sterling, it's no wonder they got thrashed. So, let's hope for more of the same, or a much improved performance against Brazil tomorrow. Anyway, in light of those ties against two footballing powerhouses, we thought we'd take a look at some historic England victories. Taken into account is the performance, the result, and the significance of the match. Here are our 7 greatest wins in England history. England 2, Portugal 1, 1966. The 1966 World Cup was of course England's finest hour, and it included a few creditable wins. The semi-final win over Portugal is certainly one of them. A strong Portugal team boasting the likes of Eusebio and Mario Coluna had won every group game, which included a 3-1 win over Brazil, and they put 5 past North Korea in the quarter-finals. England knew they had a game on their hands at Wembley then, and whilst they couldn't stop Eusebio getting on the scoresheet, a Bobby Charlton brace gave them a 2-1 win and a route to the final. Brazil 0, England 2, 1984. We're reluctant to include friendlies in this 7, but this one deserves to place. A week after being booed off the pitch at Wembley following a 2-0 defeat to the Soviet Union, England went on a tour of America, and their first game was against Brazil. The Brazilians hadn't lost a home game in 4 years, and England had never won a game on Brazilian soil, but the Three Lions were to emerge victorious. Peter Shilton made a string of impressive saves, and John Barnes scored one of the most iconic England goals of all time, before Mark Hateley bagged a second. Argentina 1, England 3, 1962. England's 2002 World Cup victory over Argentina just misses out on this 7, but their 3-1 win in 1962 does not. Having lost their opening game of the 1962 World Cup, England needed a win against Argentina to keep their tournament hopes alive. Goals by Ron Flowers, Bobby Charlton and Jimmy Greaves put them 3-0 up, before Argentina got a consolation goal. Argentina went out in the group stages, whilst England were knocked out in the quarter-finals by eventual winners Brazil. England 4, Holland 1, 1996. The first entry that will have occurred in many viewers' lifetimes, Euro 96 was the last time England reached the semi-finals of a major tournament. England's final group match was against Holland, with the two nations tied on points. The Dutch squad boasted the likes of Van der Sar, Seedorf, Bergkamp and Kluivert, but England were in fine fettle. Braces by Teddy Sheringham and Alan Shearer put England 4-0 up, a margin of victory that would put Holland out of the tournament and see Scotland progress. However, a consolation goal for the Dutch saw them pip Scotland into second place on goals scored. Germany 1, England 5, 2001. England's most famous win in recent history for a number of reasons, the 5-1 win over Germany under Sven-Göran Eriksson perhaps got people a little carried away with the so-called golden generation. There were a few reasons the game was so significant. Firstly, Germany had inflicted hurt on England by beating them in the final game at the old Wembley. Secondly, the win was crucial in helping England qualify automatically for the 2002 World Cup. And thirdly, Germany hadn't lost a qualifying game since 1985 and hadn't lost at all at the Olympiastadion since 1975. So when Carsten Janker put the Germans 1-0 up after just 6 minutes, it seemed like business as usual. But England had other ideas. Michael Owen scored a hat-trick as Steven Gerrard and Emil Heskey bagged 1 each in a sensational performance. Germany would go on to qualify for the 2002 World Cup via the playoffs, with both nations eventually being beaten by Brazil at the finals. Italy 0, England 4, 1948. The squad assembled by England in 1948 was probably the finest in the nation's history, and they proved their class with a 4-0 win over Italy in Turin. Italy were the reigning world champions and widely regarded as the best team in Europe, but a forward line of Matthews, Mortensen, Lawton, Mannion and Finney put them to the sword. In a wonderful display of teamwork and spirit, they shut the Italians out in the heat of Turin with goals from Mortensen, Lawton and a brace by Finney giving them an emphatic 4-0 win. England 4, West Germany 2, 1966. England's most famous win, most significant win, and comfortably among their most impressive, the 4-2 win over West Germany in the 1966 World Cup final deservedly tops this 7. A West German team featuring the likes of Franz Beckenbauer and Uwe Seeler stood between England and their first world title, and it would take extra time to separate the two teams. Geoff Hurst became the first, and to this day still the only man, to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final, as England beat the West Germans 4-2 to claim the Jules Rimet trophy. So that's it for our top 7. There are honourable mentions to England's 10-0 win over Portugal in 1948, their 3-2 win over Germany in 2016, and their 1-0 win over Argentina in 2002. Thanks for watching, let us know your favourite England win in the comments, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC Sevens.